It's finally here. It's a little bit late, but yes, it's finally here. This is the Mega SD from Terra Onion. So let's take a quick look at the packing. As you can see, it comes in this lovely box which has a very nice silky finish to it. And on the back of the box we've got some information about the cartridge itself. Included in the box we've got this lovely game manual printed on pretty thick stock paper. And on the back we've got a compatibility guide as well, which is very useful. The manual is printed on both sides, so you get a lot of information telling you how to load CD games, where to put your BIOSes and things like that. And here we have the actual cartridge. And some of you may be thinking it looks like a virtual racing cartridge. Well, here's a virtual racing cartridge. And yes, it does. It's identical in shape and size. As we can see, the tops look the same, the bottoms look the same. Mine's a Japanese one, so it doesn't have the little cutouts on it. And the backs look the same. So yes, basically Terra Onion have just gone and copied the mold of the virtual racing cartridge. Now on the side we've got the micro SD card slot and button. Now this button is used as a pause button for Master System games, and it also changes the disc on multi-disc games for the Mega CD. Talking of which, you probably want to know what it looks like switched on. Let's plug it in. So as you can see, I'm using this on an analog SG, and it works perfectly fine on that. So upon switching on the machine, it loads in the data from the SD card, and it is pretty quick. And as you can see, this SD card is jam-packed full of CD games. Now in the little corner you got a little Terra TV thing, so I'm guessing you can put your own little images there of the games, just like the Neo Geo SD cartridge. Loading games is really quick, as you can see. So this is an American game, so I've booted up the American BIOS, and the game boots pretty much instantaneously, actually quite like a real Mega CD.
May I help you? Thank you.
As you can hear, the audio and sound effects mix is pretty much perfect. But if you do find it's not to your liking, you can change that by using the pad reset option. Pushing up and start brings up this menu where you can reset the actual game, go back to the game select menu, or change the volume of the sound effects and the CD music. Now, the machine will boot in the BIOS specifically needed for the game. So we just saw an American game boot up there. Let's boot up a Japanese game. Now for Japanese Mega CD games, I have this set to use the Wonder Mega BIOS, since I own a Sega Wonder Mega. The Mega BIOS and the European and Japanese Mega CD BIOS are my favorites because of the background music and the look of them. I think the American Sega CD BIOS kind of looks a bit, I don't know, it just looks cheap, and the sound is really bad. Sorry to fans of that, but I really think it sounds nasty. It doesn't sound good at all. Anyway, you can see we got KO, or Chaos Flying Squadron as it's known in English, and it boots up really quickly. No problem at all. Now one interesting thing is you can save in two different styles. Either you can have an individual save for every single game on the Mega CD, so I'll put the game save into the folder where the game is stored, or you can have just one big file where all games are stored together. Personally, I think we should leave it at default where each game has its own individual saving section. And there you can see we've booted Shining Force on the European Mega CD. And that booted up really quickly. So of course, as well as playing Mega CD games, the Mega SD also plays Mega Drive games. Now, You may be thinking that the Mega Drive sound might not be so good, but don't worry, because it just acts like an EverDrive. The sound actually comes through the Mega Drive, not the actual Mega SD cartridge. So as you can hear, here's Twinkle Tail, and it sounds perfectly fine. So using the pad reset option when playing Mega Drive games, you actually get to put in cheats or do save states, something which I wish was available in the Mega CD section as well. Now one nice thing about this cartridge is that it'll actually play Sega Master System games with FM sound support. Well, a lot of game cartridges that have FM sound support don't sound correct. But I just happen to have a Japanese Sega Master System here, so let's compare the two together. So what do you think? I think that the Mega SD sounds pretty authentic. So what we can do with this is play Mega Drive games, Mega CD games, and Sega Master System games, and if you have a Sega 32X, you can play those games too. Big thumbs up from RetroCore. Very expensive, but money well spent.